that life is just way too overwhelming,
Do you ever feel like life just gets in the way?
or how everyone else makes it look so easy and you just can't figure it out?
All the time. And if this sounds like you, then grab a seat, get a cup of Joe or a glass of Merlot, and join the two broads from Boca as we discuss life and those taboo topics that you only talk about behind closed doors.
It is time to open those doors, embrace yourself, and take your power back.
So give us a call at 888-565-1470 and ask those unspoken questions.
Or simply just share an idea.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Two Broads from Boca. I am Amy Schreibman, Dr. Amy Schreibman. However, I am only going to be one broad from Boca tonight because Dawn is at an event and she will be back next week, and she sends her love and her regards. First, we're going to take care of a little business. Want to thank all our Facebook followers and all our friends because we are being followed by over 1,200 people and liked by 1,200 people, and we appreciate your friendship, I guess you want to say, and we are thankful, very thankful for that, and we continue to grow, and we hope that we grow enough that we're famous. No, I'm only kidding. Anyway, so as you know, in our intro, we talk about taboo topics. So let's talk about some hot topics. I recently posted on my private Facebook page about losing your poop with kids and feeling less than. And I got a lot of interesting responses from the moms. And it was nice to know that I was not alone. But I think it's important that we understand that losing it is part of motherhood, I think. I found it very funny, actually, that some people were like, they lose it more times than a lot of you were feeling it that day. So maybe it was a mother thing. I'm not sure. Maybe hormones were going across the airwaves. I'm not sure. But that has been going on. So I just want to say to all the moms and the dads out there who are struggling, keep on struggling. We're doing the right things. In as far as what's going on with illnesses, I want to touch on that since I'm Dr. Amy. A lot of badness has been going around, hitting my house as well, between the coming out from both ends, nose, poop, the whole bit. Key thing, everyone wash your hands. Please wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. I have this awesome pediatrician. Shout out to Dr. Rudnick. I love you too so much. And I appreciate your texting me back when I was a little frantic. But wash hands, make sure your kids are drinking. Keep them home if they're sick so they don't infect other children. So that's pretty much. So what's going on with the weight issues since the holidays? Everyone's having a lot of weight issues, myself included, up 8 pounds. Very sad about that. I think you all should call in and discuss ways that you can combat your weight issues. We can do that on the next show. So I think that keep that in the back of your mind. So that's what I want. I wanted to talk about those things. We have a very interesting guest for all the moms and dads out there who panic about their children and education and college. Our guest tonight is Jason Rabinovitz. He is from Score at the Top. Jason is the Chief Operating Officer at Score at the Top Learning Centers, and he has over 100 tutors and educators that work for him. Jason is an attorney, which you don't practice anymore at this time.
Just for the business when I need to.
Just for the business when he needs to. So it's really exciting because he's not only smart, he went to law school, and he's got the whole savvy thing going on. What's really cool about Score at the Top is just talking to Jason and doing a little investigation, I like the idea that it's not just about the test taking. They do a lot of things about the best fit for schools and programs, not only for colleges, but for law schools. You also do the SSAT, from what I understand as well.
Correct.
I have to say this on air because I think it is amazing. Since he's an attorney, his 2 dogs' names are Judge and Jury. Oh, my God. And his 2 kids' names are Levi and Lake. Could you die? It's like a storybook. Anyway, so I'd like to welcome Jason to our show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Jason, so tell me about how Score at the Top started to begin with.
Well, my mother started Score at the Top over 30 years ago.
Okay.
Actually, over 35 years ago, although she doesn't like to admit that.
Smart woman.
She worked for Educational Testing Services at the time, which is the company that developed the SAT for the College Board.
Oh, cool.
And part of her job doing that was she wrote the original test prep software for the SAT and the PSAT.
Really?
And she played an instrumental role in writing the original test prep books for the College Board.
Wow.
She called her software Score at the Top, trying to play off SAT. They didn't like it, so she kept it for herself. and started tutoring kids on the side. And that side business grew and grew. And when we moved from New Jersey to Florida in 91, 92, thankfully we were in a position where she didn't have to have a corporate type job. And my father owned a car dealership in Vero Beach, and she took an office in the dealership and focused on her tutoring business full time.
Neat.
And over the years, kids would ask, "Can you help me in chemistry or English?" And so when she couldn't do it, she would hire someone to do it. And so that started happening, and then people started saying, "Judy, can I get into college with these scores or these grades?" And my mother is one of those people who can literally read a book and then teach it to you.
Wow.
So she taught herself how to be a college advisor and started doing that. And we started working with families that started turning to her when they had really big problems with their kids, where their kids were going through major psychological issues and they didn't know what to do anymore. And there's a whole world of programs out there that work with kids in distress.
Sure.
And my mother became very familiar with this world, and she started placing these kids
Wow.
in different programs around the country. A lot of these programs will end up taking about a year to do their full work with a student.
Wow.
And the biggest problem that they were facing was they'd come back and they might miss 6 months of school in that time. So they had to get caught up. And they would turn to us and, "Judy, what can we do? How can we get caught up?" And so we started tutoring kids to get them back up to speed.
Wow.
And then we started getting them enrolled into online programs and teaching them the programs. And then we ultimately decided we didn't like the limitations of those programs, so we became accredited ourselves. And today we're a full-blown school in addition to everything else we do. So yeah.
Oh, we have to talk about that. I had no
over
idea.
100 students that go to school with us full-time.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
From what grades?
K through 12.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, is it virtual or is it there?
No. They come to our physical locations, and our school, what sets us apart is our small student to teacher ratio, where you can be in a class, you can be in a full one-on-one schedule, so one student, one teacher, one classroom, up to a 6-on-1 classroom. And really focus on what needs to be focused on. So for a one-on-one student, we get a lot of athletes. Like here in Boca, we've got probably a dozen tennis players with us at the moment, who need the flexibility to leave school for a week to go into a tournament.
And then you catch them up and get them up to speed.
Exactly. And then we do work virtually with students, but our virtual program is not like an FLVS,
right.
Where that's what's considered an asynchronous program. We run a synchronous program.
That is very interesting because there are a lot of athletes, hockey players, skaters, fencers that have to leave the country, go on tour, whatever the case may be. That's a very important thing to know. All the moms, listen up. I had no idea. See, I'm bringing you learning knowledge as we go. So you have a school. Let's talk about a little bit of what it's like for parents and for children when it comes to testing. Because there's so much, having a sophomore myself, and this is my first rodeo, there's so much conflicting information. You don't know what to believe. Is it the GPA? Is it the SAT? Is it both? Do I prep them? Do I not prep them? Which one is better? ACT, SCT? I know that you do all that prep work. Tell us a little bit about that kind of program and how long it is, and what is the commitment for the child and for the parent?
Well,
and when to start.
Okay, so the SAT and the ACT are fairly interchangeable. They are considered equally by any college in America. The schools do not care which test you take. A lot of people on the East Coast will say the schools prefer the SAT, and on the West Coast it's the ACT. But that's because that's where the market share was more dominant.
Okay.
But in reality, you could send either score. They say 1/3 of students do better on the SAT, 1/3 of students do better on the ACT, and 1/3 of students are identical on both tests. The SAT just went over a major overhaul last year. So
how is that panning out, by the way?
Well, we've probably done more ACT test prep as a result of it, and there's a lot of different reasons for that. But I think in the end, it'll probably go back to being about 50-50.
Okay.
But ultimately, that whichever test you take is the most important test a student is going to take in their high school career. and is the third most important factor when it comes to college admissions.
Really?
The first two being your grades and the rigor of your curriculum.
Okay.
So when it comes down to prepping, I mean, I'm a test prep company, but I believe in the sense that you have to prep for it no matter what.
I agree.
Even the PSAT, you should never walk into the test blind, because the biggest problem when you go in and you're not prepared for a test is that you risk not doing well as you think you might do. And if you get a score that comes back that shows that you didn't get the score that you thought you might get, then what that does psychologically is the hardest damage to undo. If you have a child with anxiety, and we spoke a little bit earlier, and you said your son has some anxiety issues and
big test anxiety.
So if you go in and now you don't do as well, now that anxiety gets really amped up.
Well, and I think it's important that you not only address that as well with the kids. It's not like you just say, well, here, I'm going to teach you how to take the test. You give them strategies so that they don't feel like that.
And that's something that we try to do in all of our test prep is trying, the number one strategy for anxiety is just being prepared.
Sure.
I mean, the more prepared you are, the better you feel about something. If you have the confidence going in, then, theoretically a lot of that anxiety goes away. But then, we try to teach little strategies like, getting there early and writing about what your anxieties are. One of my new favorite ones is what we call power posing, and that's you're standing in front of a mirror. If you can, but standing in a really strong, powerful position, because studies have shown that when you power pose, you raise your cortisol levels, which lowers your stress.
All right, hold that thought. We're going to go to a break. Give us a call at 1-888-565-1470. Give us your thoughts.
Know your body, gain control of your health, transform your life. If your body could talk, what would it tell you? At DexaFit, we show you how to take control of your health and fitness to live a happier, more fulfilling life. Hormones, metabolic health, and cardio fitness all play a significant role in your energy levels, sleep quality, and overall well-being. With our proven methods of measure, track, and discover, we show you how your body composition, cardio fitness, and metabolic health compare to your optimal level. At DexaFit, our goal is to help you identify and understand the health and fitness of how to transform your body to meet your individual goals, break through your plateaus, and take the guesswork out. Improve your energy levels, sleep, and weight. Give us a call at 561-923-8833. We are conveniently located at 2499 Glades Road in Boca Raton. Schedule an appointment online at DexaFit.com. Give us a call, 561-923-8833, and mention this ad for special pricing.
This portion of our show has been sponsored by Edelman, Barron, and Schreibman, MDPA, board-certified physicians in pulmonary, critical care, and sleep medicine. Offices are conveniently located in Boca Raton and Delray Beach, Florida. 561-488-2988.
Hey, grab your glass of Merlot.
Or your cup of coffee. And if you want to join in on the fun, give us a call at 888-565-1470.
Let's rejoin the two broads from Boca.
Girl.
Okay.
Hi, and we're back. These are the two boards from Boca minus one. Dawn is away, and she'll be back next week. We're here with Jason Rabinovitz from Score at the Top, and we're talking about prepping your child for PSAT, SAT, ACT, PSSAT, all those kind of things. But it's not just about the test. So you were saying that we were talking about what the different things that you do for anxiety.
Right.
And now, what exactly is the program like to prep somebody for the PSAT, SAT, ACT?
And we offer several different programs from both group and private.
Okay.
So our group programs is they typically run 8 weeks, other than the summer where they run 4 weeks but meet twice a week. We meet 3 hours each week. We cover all the strategies that you need to succeed, as well as recovering the fundamentals and answering every question that needs to go on.
Cool.
One of the things that makes us very unique in the test prep world is that we don't utilize a answer book for all of our instructors. Our instructors actually do every question that a student is asked to do in a class. So when a student asks a question, an instructor can tell them from personal knowledge, not just because they read the answer in a book, which makes our standards a little bit higher than most when we have to hire people, but we get really great people who end up staying with us
that's also
generally
very
for
impressive.
a long time. And then obviously we have private prep, which is much more customizable and can be, tailored around a student's schedule, which is really comes in handy when you have an athlete or a student who's just super involved. But ultimately, with either of these things, it just comes down to it's a numbers game. It's a matter of doing as much as you possibly can. And parents always ask me, like, how much should I do? How much? And there's really no correct answer to that, because I mean the correct answer is you do as much as you can afford.
Okay.
And beyond that, you have to do something else.
Okay.
So whether or not you say I can spend $1,000, then you figure out how that $1,000 is going to be best spent, where you can get the most bang for your buck working with a professional.
And you work with people with budget issues.
Obviously, yes.
Well, non-budget budget issues.
Right.
Okay.
But then after that's over, you still have to have a plan going forward, because statistically speaking, kids are going to take the test more than once.
Of course.
And you can't just stop prepping after you take it while I prepped. Now I'm just going to take it a couple of times and maybe I'll do better magically. It's like, no, you have to continue prepping between tests.
Yeah, this ain't Lucky Charms.
Yeah. One of the things that we do in all of our learning centers is we offer free simulations throughout the school year. So, I mean, if you go to like www.freesimulation.com, you'll get a pop-up. You can sign up for any of our tests. It's open to the public.
That's cool.
We generally, we can get 40 or 50 kids on a Saturday morning at 8:30 in the morning, just like the real thing. And,
so what do you do with that? Once they take the test, how would you get back to the people that are taking the test?
So basically what happens is we try to run it as close to a real thing as possible. So we start at 8:30, which means the student's got to be there before 8:30. Right. They will sit and take a full-length test under the same conditions they would have in a real test center. And then when the test is over, we'll hand out the right answers, and we will guide them through grading it so they know exactly how well they did. Then, all of our clients, the test will go back to their instructors, and the instructors can then use that to help inform the prep going forward. And for anyone who's not our clients, the test would then go to our learning center director, who would then hopefully schedule a meeting with mom and dad and the student and talk about a plan. Now, we do that for free. If somebody wants to hire us, we love to have another client. And if they say we can't afford it or we want to go hire somebody else, listen, you got some good free advice, and
that's awesome.
You can move on with your life, and we wish you the best. And
can you give us that website again?
So it's freesimulation.com. It redirects you to my website, just a lot easier.
Of course it does. What is your website, Jason?
Scoreatthetop.com.
That's pretty easy, people. Scoreatthetop.com. You had mentioned earlier about rigor in their academic setting, wherever they go to school.
Right.
And I think a lot of times people get caught up, well, I didn't send my kid to private school. I only went to public school. And I think you can have poor rigor in either place.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
And can you explain to our listeners exactly what we mean by rigor?
So rigor is just how difficult of a course schedule you have, how many honors classes, how many regular classes, how many AP classes, how many IB classes. And generally speaking, you want to increase the rigor year over year, as well as hopefully taking on harder classes, more core curriculum classes. Most colleges don't really care about the fluff classes. They really just want to see that core curriculum, your math, English, science, social science, and foreign language.
So foreign language is important too.
Yes, it's considered it's a core class. Most colleges want to see at least 2 years of it. I mean, competitive schools are going to want to see 4 years.
Really cool.
And I mean, but that being said, people get really stuck on name brand colleges. I remember once going to a NACAC conference. NACAC is the North American. I forgot what the stands
college,
for.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's for all college guidance counselors, basically. Every public and private school guidance counselor in the country goes to this conference. And I went to this one session where they said, write down your 3 dream colleges. And it can't be a college from your, write it down first. And then now cross off any college that's in your state, any Ivy, MIT, the California colleges, and a couple others. And almost nobody had any colleges left. And these are all professionals.
But I think that's another thing too. Parents and kids get caught up in that environment. Oh, well, if you don't go to Yale, you don't go to University of Pennsylvania, if you don't go there, to one of those, then why are you even, if you don't go to Duke, why are you even bothering? And I think that that's such a unfair thing, because not every kid is going to be that kid. Do you do college advising?
Yes.
Can you die here? Yeah. As a mother, I'm dying right now. This is really good to know.
I mean, my mother is the real expert when it comes to college admissions. I mean, I've always said that she's one of the foremost experts in the country when it comes to college admissions. Wow. She spends an incredible amount of time annually traveling to visit colleges, talking with admissions people, and finding out, what it takes to get in at every place. And so when she meets with a family, she can tell you what a college actually looks like, 'cause she's been on the campus. She can tell you what it actually takes to get in, because she met with the admissions department on the campus. She can tell you what type of kid really goes there, because I mean, we find all the time.
That's important.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You have to go to the best fit. You can't just go to the best school. You have to go to the best school for you.
A lot of kids, people don't realize, a lot of kids don't like to go to a big school, or they think they like to go to a big school, but you kind of know that they're not going to, you don't want, some kids can't be just another number.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? They need to be more engaged.
Absolutely. And a lot of students also get really caught up in an idea of a school. And they know nothing about the school other than the idea of the school. Or they decide they want to follow a boyfriend or a girlfriend to a school.
Dumb idea.
We see that every year. We get clients that come to us say, "Oh, my boyfriend's going, my girlfriend's going. I want to go there too." And then we get a call halfway through the year saying, "They broke up. Josh wants to transfer because they broke up."
Yeah. Listen, people, dumb.
Yeah. I told my babysitter years ago, 2 years ago, do not follow your boyfriend.
No, that's your time to fly. You don't need to be following anybody anywhere. But no, I think that's really good advice. So if somebody wants to do this with you, I have one other question before we talk about how people can reach you. What is this SAT course? They have SAT specific, like a math SAT and an English SAT.
Oh, the subject tests.
That's it. What the heck's that?
So
people don't know what that is.
For more competitive schools, they many of them ask for subject tests. And it's a school by school basis. Okay. So you really have to have a list of what schools you might be considering.
Do you recommend just taking it so that your kid can have a little bit of more freedom?
Not really. It really depends.
Okay.
If you have a highly competitive student and you're going to be looking at highly competitive schools, then yes. Okay. Generally, you want to take it like right after an AP exam.
Exactly.
So if you're taking, if you're going to take AP calculus, you may want to take like a math level 2 right afterwards. Or if you're taking like AP World, you're going to take the world history subject test, because a lot of the material, crosses over, and it's a lot easier to study for once than to study twice.
Exactly. Jason, how can everybody get in touch with you and Score at the Top?
So, I mean, easy way is email. You can email me at jason@scoreatthetop.com. Our website is scoreathetop.com. We've got, contact us up in the right-hand corner. You can always reach me at 561-241-1610, which is my Boca phone number. But that's where I have a voicemail, and you can always get me there, or somebody will take a message.
And you can also go to our Facebook page at Two Broads from Boca, and you'll see the Score at the Top logo with information how to get in touch with Jason. This was really important for your kids. It's a great avenue to figure it out, and particularly for people like me, when this is your first child and it's our first rodeo, it's kind of hard to navigate. It's really intimidating, because when I went to school, the dinosaurs were still on the earth. And it's like you feel like today your kid needs to have a college degree to go to college. It's very overwhelming. So Jason and Score at the Top, excellent resource. I hope you liked our show. We had a really good time. We have about a minute left. Anybody wants to call, you can call. If not, you can leave your comment on our Facebook page at Two Broads from Boca, or you can leave it on our website at www.twobroadsfromboca.com. Thank you for joining us, Jason. Thank you so much. This has been an awesome, awesome show.
Thank you for having me.
No, it was my pleasure. Thanks so much. And I'll be seeing you. My son's going this summer, actually before I even met Jason. So thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Dawn will be back, and we'll see you then. Have a good night, and thank you. You've been hanging with the Two Broads from Boca.
If you have gained some confidence or an idea to create a better day, then we have made a difference.
Join us every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. on WWNN.
Give us a call, feel inspired as we continue to open those doors and have some fun.